Welcome back to the channel, folks. Today, we're diving into one of the biggest political stories of the week, and it's going to be a heated one. Labour leader Keir Starmer is bracing himself for a monumental backlash after doubling down on his warning about the upcoming budget. This one's not just tough, it's brutal, and the fallout is going to be huge, especially for pensioners who are already feeling the pinch. But before we get into all the details, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more in-depth political content. We've got you covered with the latest from the UK's chaotic political scene. Now, let's get into it. Keir Starmer, the leader of the Labour Party, is facing a political firestorm, and it's all centred around his warning about the upcoming budget set to be delivered by Shadow Chancellor Rachel Reeves. Starmer has made no secret of the fact that this budget is going to be, in his words, tough on spending, tough on taxes, and tough on welfare. But it's the specifics that are causing waves. The most controversial decision so far, Labour's proposed cuts to the winter fuel payment, restricting it to pensioners who are on pension credit. This is a massive change from the current system, which offers much broader support. For thousands of pensioners struggling with rising energy costs, this feels like a cruel blow. And the timing couldn't be worse, with winter just around the corner and energy bills higher than ever. Labour's move to cut this essential lifeline is being seen as heartless by many. Starmer, however, is defending the decision. Speaking to The Observer, he didn't sugarcoat the situation. He explained that there's a £22 billion funding gap that Labour needs to address, a gap that he says leaves no room for easy decisions. The message is clear. This isn't a budget of choice, but of necessity. The Labour leader emphasised that, with such a massive financial shortfall, cuts are inevitable. But that explanation isn't sitting well with critics. Many have pointed out that Labour's decision to target pensioners, arguably one of the most vulnerable groups, is a dangerous political move. Trade unions, Labour Party activists, and pensioners' advocacy groups are already gearing up for a fight, preparing to oppose these cuts at the Labour Party conference in Liverpool. This sets the stage for what could be a major confrontation between Starmer's leadership and the grassroots movement of his own party. Starmer also stressed that his priority is to protect working people from further tax increases. He knows that after years of austerity and tax hikes, the public has little appetite for more financial pain. People have had a lot of tax rises, and there's not much more room for tax rises, Starmer stated. But his reassurances have done little to quiet the growing discontent within his own ranks, with many fearing that this budget could cost Labour its core support base. Public services are another key battleground. Starmer has consistently argued that the UK's public services are at breaking point. Our public services are on their knees, he said, making it clear that deep cuts could cripple essential services like healthcare and education. He's drawing on his own experience here, reminding the public that he's seen firsthand what happens when services are slashed to the bone. Despite Starmer's defence of the budget, his personal approval ratings have taken a massive hit. In fact, they've dropped to their lowest level ever, down by 45 points since July alone. Starmer's ratings are now even lower than those of former Tory leader Rishi Sunak, who stepped down amid widespread criticism of his handling of various scandals. For Starmer, this is a deeply troubling development as he heads into what could be the most challenging period of his leadership. As if Starmer's budget woes weren't enough, the UK's political landscape is being rocked by another high-profile feud. Nigel Farage, the former leader of the Brexit Party and current head of Reform UK, has launched a scathing attack on LBC presenter James O'Brien, accusing him of inciting violence with his comments. The clash between Farage and O'Brien is nothing new, but it's taken a particularly bitter turn. O'Brien has been a vocal critic of Farage for years, accusing him of stoking division in the country. Things escalated after O'Brien implied that Farage's rhetoric had contributed to the Southport killings, a tragic incident that left the country in shock. During an LBC broadcast, O'Brien didn't hold back, suggesting that Farage was partly to blame for the racial tensions that boiled over in the aftermath of the killings. Farage, never one to shy away from a fight, hit back hard. He accused O'Brien of fueling hatred and violence, claiming that the broadcaster's personal attacks had led to widespread vitriol being directed his way. "He's someone who incites violence," Farage said, accusing O'Brien of stirring up animosity towards him over the years. Farage went on to defend his own actions, insisting that his comments about immigration and British values were not responsible for the tragic events in Southport. The feud has opened up a broader debate about the role of public figures in shaping political discourse. Is O'Brien's criticism justified, or is Farage right to claim that he's being unfairly targeted? And what does this say about the growing polarization in British politics, where figures like Farage and O'Brien seem locked in a never-ending battle of words? Farage also took aim at the government and police, accusing them of mishandling the Southport case by keeping the public in the dark. He suggested that the lack of transparency led to an information vacuum, which was quickly filled by wild conspiracy theories on social media. According to Farage, the riots that followed the killings might not have happened if the authorities had been more forthcoming with the facts. O'Brien, for his part, has not responded publicly to Farage's accusations, but the dispute has already sparked significant media attention, and with Farage continuing to dominate the political conversation through his GB News platform, it's clear that this feud is far from over. Keir Starmer's leadership is at a critical juncture. His decision to double down on tough budget cuts has sparked outrage among pensioners, activists, and even members of his own party. The backlash over the slashing of the winter fuel payment, in particular, could become a major stumbling block for Labour as it heads into the next general election cycle. With approval ratings plummeting and discontent growing, Starmer faces an uphill battle to prove that his approach to fiscal responsibility won't alienate the very voters Labour depends on. Meanwhile, the wider political landscape is growing more divisive. The Farage-O'Brien feud is a perfect example of the increasing polarization in British politics, where public figures are quick to point fingers and engage in heated exchanges. Whether it's Farage accusing O'Brien of inciting violence or O'Brien accusing Farage of fueling division, the lines are being drawn and the stakes are higher than ever. As the dust settles from both the budget fallout and the Farage-O'Brien feud, one thing is clear: UK politics is more volatile than ever. Starmer's future as Labour leader may depend on how he navigates the next few months, and the broader political tensions show no signs of easing up anytime soon. Let us know your thoughts in the comments. Do you think Starmer can weather this storm? And what do you make of the Farage-O'Brien saga? Don't forget to like, share and subscribe for more deep dives into the most pressing political issues of the day.